Hey guys, I'm my artist name is Jorgalad, and today I'll try to make a video for one of my Zebra presets for sale at ADSRsounds.com. But first, this is what it sounds like. And just as with the massive video I did recently, it's just one note in my sequencer, which is a C in this case, and it doesn't matter which note it is. You can put any note in there you like, and it makes this melody with the bass. As I said, I use Zebra to make these kind of sounds because Zebra is, in my opinion, is the most versatile synthesizer, soft synth out there, at least that I know of. Well, you can see for yourself. You have a lot of options, and at first it might look a little bit overwhelming, but when you try it for a few days, I'm sure you'll get the hang of it, and it's actually it's not that difficult. It only shows what you use. So if I turn this off and I use just one oscillator, it looks way more easy right now. So I'm not gonna explain everything I did, so I'm not gonna go over the options and say, okay, I did this because of this and this and this and this and such, because it would just take too much time, and I think this is already gonna be a 2 video tutorial. I don't want to bore you guys, so I'm gonna go over it quickly. And if you don't get everything at once, pause the screen, try to copy the values down, ask me a question on YouTube or something like that. I try to do my best in explaining this because English is not my native language and sometimes I get confused. But I'll try to make it as clear as possible. So the first slot, oscillator 1. It's the waveform is looking like this. I've drawn that in myself. It's on the geomorph here. Normalize is 15, renderer is soft, and then I've put MSEG1 on the tuning. So this is a modulation slot, and I've put it up 12 semitones in this case because it's a tuning. So that's an important one. Then phasing is normal, no effects, mix standard. Pretty basic. Then it goes to filter 1, voltage control filter 1. That's the red one here. It's just a normal low pass. The cutoff is at, cutoff is at 40. MCG2 is at 76. Key follow and drive are both default. I'm not using those. Then we get to comb filter 1, tuning -12. Envelope 4, amount of 12. Key scale default feedback is at 94. Damping 24. You can see the values up here when I click a knob. Noise is 100, volume is default. That goes into FM oscillator 1, and that's the green one here. If you click this circle here, default is 1 circle, but if you click it, you get 2 circles, and that means it's now a stereo oscillator. So that's why I've put the width all the way up to 100. You get a nice wide sound. FM is 26, and envelope 4 is on the tuning also with an amount of 12. The volume is 50, key scale default. I hope you're still following. Then we go to XMF1. And the XMF filters, they're pretty awesome because basically they're 2 filters in 1 filter, and you can choose which types you combine, and you can choose the way of how you want to combine them. And so you do that here. You can put them in serial, parallel, single, so just the single filters and the difference between the filters, which is also awesome, really awesome feature. So my first filter in this filter bank is the low pass 4, and my second is the low pass 1, and then I've put the offset on 28, and what the offset does, it changes between the two filters. So if I try to solo that, if you're listening with headphones, you can hear the stereo effect, and that's mainly because of the offset here. So I don't, did I explain it yet? The LFO2 is 84, the resonance is 61.5, and the cutoff is 106. So that's that. Then we get to oscillator 3, which is doing the bass notes of dispatch. Like that. It's just a standard saw wave on geomorph, normalize 15. Tuning -24. Wave, well, not important, you can see it right here. I think it's the default. MSEG3 down 12 semitones, a little bit of detuning. It's on dual. No phasing going on, but I do have oscillator effects. Effect 1 is bandworks, and the value is -34. Effect 2 is the expander, which is the greatest effect of them all, I think, with a value of 18, and MSEG4 modulates this value with an amount of 36. Then it goes to filter 2. That's this one right here. Cutoff 84, resonance 17.5, drive 27.5. Okay, almost there. And then we get to the envelopes. The first two envelopes are defaults, except the second envelope has a release of 77, which is quite long. Envelope 3 make it look like this, and envelope 4 make it look like this. So to get this bar right here, you put it on V slope, and this is basically the speed of the envelope. So if you just make it look like this, you'll be pretty safe. Then we get to the LFOs. Am I using LFOs? Oh yeah, I am on the XMF filter. So LFO1 is in there. It's just standard. It's controlling the how do you say that in English? Vibrato, I think, maybe. Then LFO2 is on the sine, and make sure it's 1-1. A sync can be free on both of them. Then we get to this section. The first output, it goes through envelope 1. The second one goes through envelope 2, then envelope 3, and the fourth slot goes to envelope 1 as well. So this is saying the output of this bus, what's gonna be controlled, like which envelope is gonna control the shape of that sound. So you can assign that here. And then these knobs below are just volume. The first one is at 100, then 50, which is default, 39, and 50 again. So that's the basic core. And then what you get to is the MSEGs, and these are doing two things. They're controlling the filters and opening the filters, so that way you get your rhythm, and they are doing the melody. So for example, if I let the first oscillator play, you can see that this one is controlling the melody, so the tuning. And if I go to oscillator 1, you can see MSEG1 is indeed on the tuning with an amount of 12. So that means I have a range of 1 octave. And when I right click in this area, I can say value snap 12, and these yellow dots will snap to whole semitones. So you don't have detuned notes. They're all exact semitones. You can see the first one is up 1 octave. So if I play G, for example, this first note goes to a G 1 octave higher, and then it goes down 12, and then here it goes 1 up. So this is how to create your melodies. And I think a great thing about this is you don't sit behind your keyboard and struggling to find a good melody. It's not a way of trying to make a song and melodies, and you can get pretty creative and come up with unexpected results. So that's that, and it's going through the filter. That one is controlling this filter 1, the one here, and that's controlling the rhythm with MSEG2. And you can see that here. It's just these plugs. Then what I added was the bass oscillator, which is 3. It sounds like this. And that's done exactly the same way. I've put MSEG3 on the tuning with an amount of -12. And you can see it here. It's just playing these bass notes, going lower and lower. And you can hear the glide as well. It's because this one is gliding 2 notes down. So then in combination you've got that. And then I added these middle 2 oscillators, FM and the XMF filter, and these are just the basic attack of the note with a little bit of effects. And you can hear the kind of spacey sound, and that's mainly because of the XMF filter. The resonance is high and the cutoff is modulated with LFO2. And if you do that, you immediately get those types of sounds. So that's mainly because of the comb filter going through the XMF filter and through the FM filter. FM oscillator. If I turn it off, it makes a little bit of difference, but not that much. Then MSEG4, what's it doing? Oh, that's the one on the expander on oscillator 3. So it's gradually over a course of 4 bars, it's making the sound a little bit more aggressive. Like that. Just all these small details that make the final sound. So MSEG3 is for the bass notes, MSEG2 is for the rhythm, MSEG1 is for the melody of the first oscillator. And that's the patch in its basic form. And then I've added some little effects. But if you experiment with this, you'll get I think it will be kind of hard to exactly reproduce this, but you can just use these techniques and try for yourself to come up with a bass line, a melody, all in one synth. And it's great because then you have the intro of your song and maybe a breakdown, and all you did was just experiment in Zebra. I don't have any other effects on there, just everything in the synth, and that's what I really like about it. So the last effects here are the reverb, which is sounding great. And then I mix part of the signal to this other bus here, and that goes through a delay and to a high pass filter. So all the delays are high passed, and then you can control the amount, the mix amount, with these 2 knobs. Like that. One other thing I'd like to say is when you got your Zebra synth things a little bit down, try to experiment with this. This is the perform section. And here you can assign these pads to all the controllers you'd like here. So for example, if I go to tuning and filter, I've put it to the filter 1 cutoff, and that's the X. Oh, I get a little bit confused now. The X-axis is assigned to the cutoff, and the Y-axis is assigned to the resonance. So when you drag this around, you get all these weird sounds that you would never think of to make. And the delay, same thing, I assigned it to the feedback and the erasure. So that's how that works, and I really advise you experiment with that as well. So I hope everything is clear, and I hope you can kind of reproduce this sound. If not, ask me a question or get the preset back and you can see all the settings for yourself. Thank you. Have a great day.